Hey guys, my name is Dean Pullman. I'm super excited to be RHONE'S ambassador for 2022, their yoga expert. And I'm going to answer a few questions right now and just talk a little bit about me, introduce myself to you, and hopefully I will be able to help you out with your fitness goals through teaching the type of yoga that I focus on. So here we go. What is Manful Yoga and why was it created? So, Manful Yoga is a unique fitness-centric and male-focused approach to yoga that I created back in, I started it back in 2013 and have slowly developed it over the years into the fitness-centric, strength-focused type of yoga that it is today. It's different from other types of yoga in that it is, first off, it is non-spiritual. It's not to say that I don't appreciate the spiritual aspects of yoga or think that it's wrong to incorporate spiritual into yoga. It's not. It's completely fine. It's just not my thing, and it didn't feel right to me, putting in the spiritual aspects into what I consider to be more appropriate, at least appropriate for my fitness goals, to be a mobility, a strength, and a balance-focused practice. So first part is it's not spiritual. Second part, again, I mentioned it's male-focused. So men and women do have different baseline levels of flexibility. I'm not saying that without the right training that men and women can have similar levels of flexibility. If you take the second part is that it's male focused. So if you take your average guy and you put him next to your average gal and you have them go through, whatever movements there may be to assess flexibility levels, you will find that the female has more flexibility, particularly in the hip areas. Men tend to also have more upper body strength. They tend to have a higher center of gravity, so they have weaker cores, weaker hips. So the way that men and women will do yoga postures is different as well, especially if they're beginners. So I created Manful Yoga as a way to make it more accessible to guys who were less flexible and who were new to yoga. At least that would have been very helpful to me as I was getting started out, because I couldn't do most poses in the way that the instructors were telling me to do. I just didn't have that flexibility. I was very strong. I had a lot of endurance. I was an athlete at the time, but I didn't have that flexibility. So a lot of what I put into Manful Yoga as far as the male anatomy focused part of it is the answer that I would have liked to have when I was doing yoga, finding something that was more appropriate for guys who were less flexible and who were newer. And then I think the third big point to mention here, if I'm only going to go 3 points, is that Manful Yoga is really fitness focused. It's focused on the proper technique. It's focused on building more strength. It's focused on building active mobility versus passive flexibility. It's really focused on helping you get the maximum benefit out of every pose, out of every second that you spend on the mat. And that's talking about things like the proper technique. Where should your knee be in relation to your ankle in this particular pose? Which muscles should you be working? What should you feel stretching? What should you feel in general? What should you not feel in your body? What are the benefits of this exercise? How does it help you in terms of your running or in terms of weightlifting? How does it help in day-to-day fitness? How is it going to be helpful for you if you spend a lot of time sitting or driving or being inactive? These are all things that I focus on in the instruction that makes Manful Yoga so unique, and that has helped tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of guys through that unique approach. So Manful Yoga, to sum it up, is it's a form of yoga, but it's not just yoga. It includes bodyweight exercise, it includes physical therapy, it includes inspiration from other workouts, largely based on yoga postures, but much more focused on building strength, much more fitness focused, much more appropriate for your average male and the non-spiritual as well. So that is what Manful Yoga is. Second question, how did you first get started with yoga? So I first got started with yoga on complete accident. I was looking for the tailor one day. I stumbled into a yoga studio. I was about to go work out after that anyways, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll just try a yoga class. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've heard that flexibility can be good for me, so I gave it a shot. I didn't think it would be difficult. I didn't think it would be that hard, but I decided to give it a shot. Halfway through that class, I was totally exhausted, completely and utterly exhausted, just totally drained. And it was only halfway through. And the instructor said, okay, it's halftime, basically. And I was like, are you joking? You're kidding, right? There's no way. So that workout completely humbled me. It showed me that there were so many different ways that I still needed to work on my fitness. And back then I intuitively knew that if something challenged me, that it had the potential to help me get a lot stronger. So I kept on going back because of the challenge. And then after that, I kept going back because I noticed just how much it helped me in the other physical activities that I did. Made me better as an athlete. It helped with my mental fitness. It helped a lot, tremendously with my flexibility, my mobility, my balance. It made me feel more fluid, lighter, but somehow still just as powerful. So I started yoga on complete accident. I kept doing it because I noticed how well my body was benefiting from doing it consistently. What are the benefits of adding yoga into one's fitness routine for both athletes and the casual weekend warrior? So I can sum this up really easily, but benefit number one is that you're going to get better at your other workouts. You're going to feel better doing them. You're going to have a lower risk of injury. You're going to have better muscle activation if you can do it. You're going to have deeper range of motion, so you're going to be able to get more power out of the movements. But the bottom line is you are going to get better at your other workouts if you can do manful yoga consistently with those other workouts. The second way that it's really going to help is in your recovery and taking care of your body. A lot of people just don't do any restorative or recovery work. So taking the time to do things like deep restorative stretching, working on your breathing, working on workouts that aren't as tense but are just as helpful to your overall fitness. This is incredibly important. It's something that gets overlooked a lot, and you can get a lot of these benefits by doing these types of workouts, by doing manful yoga, by doing restorative yoga, a few times per week. So those are the two big benefits that I'll focus on. How have you created a space specifically for men in the world of yoga? How are you making it more approachable and accessible for men? So a few years ago when I started manful yoga, the ratio between men and women at yoga studios and just in yoga world in general was a lot different than what it is now. There were much more females to males than they are currently. Now that is balancing out a little bit, but when I first started, it felt you were definitely the only guy, and you were most likely the only guy in the yoga studio or in the yoga class, or you were just one of, a couple or a few. Most people doing yoga were female. And the thing is that men and women have different bodies. Men, generally, I'm not saying everybody, but generally, men are less flexible than female, and they also have a higher center of gravity. So they tend to use their upper bodies more, and women will but they will just naturally use their hips and their core more, whereas men will try to lift something with their arms. Women will try to use their legs and their core. That's just those are the anatomical differences. Not to say that you can't train your body to become more flexible than a female, and a female won't be less flexible than a man, but in general, men and women do have these differences. And so that was my experience when I was doing yoga. I found that I was just unable to do a lot of these moves that females were doing. Conversely, I had much more success with certain moves than experienced female yogis were able to do. So it was much easier for me to do to do poses that required more upper body strength. But the huge gap between flexibility levels made it feel like I was doing something wrong, or it just kind of made me feel like I had to push myself beyond what I was capable of doing, because I had to get to the same level that the women around me were doing. And really what I needed at the time, I needed someone who could teach me, hey, like, you're a guy, this is probably where your flexibility level is. Here's a modification that will work for you. So the way that I've developed this, yoga for men space is by focusing on men's fitness needs, focusing on, the typical guy in terms of, number one, his differing levels of flexibility, but also number two, probably the differing yoga experience. Men in general don't have as much yoga experience as women. If you ask, guys what their typical workouts were, maybe they have in the past, they've done weights, they've done running, they've done some form of cardio, but a lot of them haven't done yoga. So most guys are coming into this with, beginner or no experience at all with yoga. So I focus on teaching the proper technique to make sure that they're doing it safely, make sure that they're getting it, doing it effectively and getting the best workout that they possibly can, and also including those poses and modifications that make more sense for somebody who's less flexible. How is your approach within Manful Yoga different from what someone might find at a traditional yoga class? So I've actually been doing calls with customers, with actually successful customers over the past couple of weeks. So I won't tell you in my words, I'll tell you specifically what they say. The first thing that they talk about is the technique. It's the emphasis on proper technique. It's knowing which muscles to engage, how to add strength to a particular pose, not just mirroring what the instructor is doing, but really focusing on engaging those muscles. Proper technique, the little tweaks, the little, just the tiny differences that you can make to a pose to make it more effective or to make sure that you're doing it properly. So big emphasis on the technique, big emphasis on strength, and then also focusing on active mobility instead of passive flexibility. So active mobility is being able to apply force in extended range of motion. It's not just getting your body into that position, it's being able to control it there, to be able to push or to hold or to pull in that extended range of motion. And that active range of motion, that active mobility has far greater benefits in terms of translating into your other workouts, in terms of overall strength, in terms of longer lasting flexibility than does passive stretching, which is what you'll find in most typical yoga classes. So those are the big differences. And I won't go into too much other stuff, but if we're just keeping it simple, the active mobility, the strength focus, the muscle activation, and then that proper technique, those are what really set Manful Yoga apart from other types or a traditional yoga. What would you tell a guy who's hesitant about trying out yoga? I would tell you that yoga is going to help you get better at whatever you're currently doing with your fitness. So if you're a runner, if you're an athlete of some type, if you lift weights, yoga is only going to help you get better at that. If you're someone who's hesitant about starting yoga because you don't have a fitness routine, I'm going to point out the convenience and the accessibility of following along to a yoga class on your phone or on a computer, being able to do it at your own pace, doing it at the time that you want, doing it in a judgment-free zone. These are all things that make it a lot easier, especially for guys who are overweight. If you were to go out and just do something that, let's say you go out and go for a run, that would really hurt your joints. Being able to build control with your body, being able to do something that is incredibly low impact, something that's going to help you build strength but is relatively gentle on your body. Yoga is a fantastic option for that, just as long as you're doing the proper technique, as long as you're doing it in a way that helps you build strength, not just focusing on passive stretching. But yoga is going to help you get stronger. Yoga is going to be easier if you're just getting started with your workout, if you're getting started with working out consistently, when you compare that with other types of workouts. And mostly the regret that I hear from people about starting yoga is that they wish they had done it sooner. So really, there's not a lot to lose here. Oh, and lastly, what's really cool about yoga is that you feel the benefits immediately after the workout. A lot of workouts, you have to do them consistently, for a month or 2 months or even 3 months. And then you notice, hey, I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling better, I'm looking better in the mirror. What's cool about yoga is you feel better instantly. You feel less stressed, you feel more aware of your body, you feel stronger, you feel like your movement is better. So those are things that happen immediately. So you will notice the benefits of doing a good yoga workout immediately. So there's a lot of reasons, to start yoga. Find someone. If it's not me, I'd love for you to work out with me. I'd love for you to do yoga with me. But if you follow along to one of my workouts and you don't like it and you hate me, then don't do it with me. Go find someone else who you like. So find a yoga instructor you like. There's tons. There's thousands. And then, do it. Do it consistently. You don't have to do a full 30 or 60 minutes. Even 5 minutes is going to be helpful. Start manageable, build up, make sure it fits into your schedule in a way that's easy and that you're experiencing the benefits and feeling better as you're doing it. We're really excited to welcome you aboard as RHONE'S resident yoga expert. What do you hope to get out of this collaboration? We're excited to get more men on the mats. Guys, RHONE is my go-to apparel brand. I have been working on and off with them informally since 2016, I think, maybe even 2015. I'm really impressed with the way that RHONE has built their business with their incredible brand. I love the people at RHONE. I love the products that they make. So I'm just looking forward to connecting with the customers and connecting with this RHONE audience that that they've managed to create. So I'm looking forward to helping you guys out, to providing you with workouts, to providing you with tools, hopefully providing you with information and inspiration to help you get started with yoga, because it was so helpful for me. It was something that I didn't really consider doing, but as the typical athlete, as someone who has played college sports, who has lifted weights for most of their life, who has done sprints, who has done all these other types of workouts, yoga has been something that has truly transcended my physical fitness and helped with my mental fitness, helped me be more aware of myself, helped me with my stress, helped me with managing anxiety, being able to manage my life outside of my workouts. So it's something that's not only going to help your fitness, something that's also going to help you mentally and emotionally. And I'm just looking forward to share that with other people, because it was so helpful for me. I know it can be helpful for others too. Last question. And of course, we have to know, what are your favorite pieces of RHONE gear to flow in? So I have about 25 of these rain shirts from RHONE. Literally every color you can think of. If they've made it, I probably have it. So if you're looking for a comfortable shirt that can double as a workout shirt or as a casual shirt on the weekends, or whenever you want to wear a casual shirt, RHONE's rain short sleeve is fantastic. This one is a tech shirt, so if you're looking for something that's more moisture wicking, if you need something, if you're going to sweat a lot and you want to stay cool, they have some fantastic workout gear to help you stay cool. In particular, that's their tech gear. They also have what's called the Swift tank top. I love that. I think it's a great lightweight, good looking tank top that I use a lot. And then as far as their shorts go, I love their Mako shorts. They come in a lot of different lengths, so choose whichever one you like. I particularly enjoy the anywhere from 5 to 7 inch lengths with my shorts. So I think I'm wearing them right now. These are Makos. So they have a lot of great colors. I like that they're super high quality. They look great, they're super high quality, but they also fit me really well. I think a lot of brands, they make it too tight or they're just too loose. And then if you're looking for a really high quality built-in liner short, some really nice thicker shorts that will handle anything that will move with you, that are moisture wicking, keep everything in place. The versatility short is fantastic. That is just an excellent short for any workout. Highly recommend that as well. Thanks for the questions, RHONE. Again, I'm really looking forward to be your yoga expert for 2022. Looking forward to help more guys get on the mat and, of course, get in some super high quality workout gear to support that. So thanks for having me on. I'm really looking forward to this year, looking forward to growth, and I hope we can do a lot of great things together. I'll see you guys on the next video.